Prologue. If you were able to walk down Broadway in January 1953, on a day when the snow is falling, but the wind blows so fiercely that everything flies at you sideways where snowdrifts are flattened and cars merge from the white like monsters in the dark. If you were able to walk down Broadway on a day like that, you will have entirely walked into the chaos without realizing it until it was too late. You might have walked into one of the large, hulking men in heavy overcoats and muffs on their ears or with flat caps on their heads, because they lived in the city long enough and didn't need no protection. Scarves around their throats up to their mouths, them on the inside for breathing heavily. Of course it had to storm today, one will say, and the other will grunt and agree. Then the large steel door will burst open. One of the doors you don't even notice are there until you do. Then you might actually look around you. Look up at the building in front of you. You see boarded windows. An abandoned warehouse, you might think, right here in the middle of Broadway, right under your nose. You might think, what else goes on in this city that I don't know about, right under my nose? Can I help you? You might offer as two more large men emerge from the dark inside, carrying large boxes and wheeling heavy crates. You notice then that the boxes are stamped with the word gent. You might wonder if that was short for gentlemen. Maybe they belong to an old suit factory. The man will ignore you, of course, because they have everything under control, even as they huff and puff and complain. They know what they were doing. One of them steps to the side after having his end of the crate into a large movie van. He places his hands on his lower back and scratches. The scarf slips around his mouth. The snow finds his mustache quickly. You don't know why you're so curious. You don't know why it matters. That you might try to make a small talk even though you have places to go to and the things to do. What's all this? Why in the snowstorm? You'll call out over the wind. Has to be done fast. It has to be done now, said the man with the mustache. What is all this? Because the boxes are all such different sizes and shapes and don't make sense to you. And again, because something appeals to you to ask. You might want to rub your hands together a bit, trying to warm them up. Your guess is as good as mine, kid. But then he'll decide he doesn't want to go back to work right away. He'll say, some strange things in their experiments look like. You probably don't want to know. What a surprising answer. Something you have not anticipated. The building looks so dreary. No hint of life or strange goings-on. Where are you taking it all? To the Kismet production studios on the other side of the city for TV, you know. TV is going to be the next big thing. Mark my words, he replies, brushing the snow that has consolated on his mustache. You'll know because you already think it's the best thing, nothing next about it. You won't see it though. Through the snow, the wind even just turning to look at the someone is a struggle. Harvey, what do you think under the radar means? Oh yeah, sorry. He might look at you now, and the mime blocking his lips and said, forget I say anything. Harvey, get over here. And then some choice profane words in the style of all New Yorkers. It doesn't bother you because you're also a New Yorker. If on this day you were to do all this, you may have been part of the very small slice of history, something that only a choice few ever really know anything about. And those who did have long forgotten, you will have seen a massive crate large enough to hold a car, which is the only thing you could think to compare it to, being curled over, held by large heavy chains. Watch it creak in the wind as Harvey trudges his way over to help steady it descend from the window up high. You had to see the word fragile in large, black, inky letters along each side beneath the word gent. Again, you had to feel the wind picked up the speed. If on this day you had been there to witness both the beginning of a thing and the end, but of course you weren't, and you never saw it, and the trunk once loaded drives off into the snow, disappearing into the flurries, and there is stillness next to the building, and then from deep within the walls a sound like an echo of something, like a roar or a scream, or maybe it was just the wind. From the old journal found in Joey Drew's Greenwich Village apartment in 1972, dated New Year's Day, 1953. The Illusion of Living, 2nd edition. Part 7. The end is the beginning. The end of Joey Drew Studios. While part of LA plan, the studio closed in 1948. Now you have felt some level of sorrow for me, old Joey. You might consider yourself that I was heartbroken, but sometimes when I was asleep, I dream I'm in the Bendy's world. The walls around me cartoonishly pull high into the sky, wrapped and mangled, drawn by hand, and the ink sweeps between the cracks and the plates of the wood. I dream I'm walking down a hallway, the floor covered in ink, like the shallows of an infinite bay. He calls out to me. They all called out to me, and I wonder if I am truly dreaming or if I am slipped into the other world, a world more real than what we call real. I waked up. I am in my bed. The studio is gone, but I am not. I am here, and dreams never die. They just shift and squeeze themselves through different cracks until they find you again, consume you again. I will wait until they do. I can't be patient. I am not frightened. I've never been scared of the ink. No one will read this. No one will read this. No one will read this. No one will read this.